I'm Curtis Millsap from Millsap Farm, and we've been here about 10 years on this little piece of land 4 miles north of Springfield. It's 20 acres, and on that we grow 2 acres of vegetables. And that's the main part of what we do, but we also do pizza night. That's a community event, usually hosts about 250 people a week. We call it Pizza Club. We have all our members out for pizza whenever, every Thursday from May to October. And that's turned out to be a real big thing. It's about 4 years old now, and it's turned out to be a big event on our farm each week, and we love hosting people. It's a good time for the community and good time for us. Sarah and I lived in New Mexico the first 2 years we were married. And while we were out there, we helped on a camp, and that camp had an horno, which is the New Mexican name for an outdoor oven. And so every week in camp we'd have pizza night, and so this was what it was. You know, and of course in that case the kids made their own pizzas and we fired them. It was quite an event. We started with just friends and family, and then after we'd done it for about 6 months, we figured it's kind of good practice time. And my wife is a wonderful chef. I mean, she has a real knack for figuring out combinations that are going to taste good together, and really creative combinations. So she kind of fine-tuned those skills, and I got better at baking and figuring out how to make all that work properly. And then we said, you know, I think it's time to do this for profit. And so we started inviting our members out. You know, it's been no looking back since then. So it's a big crowd, feels like a community block party almost, is the feeling. We always have live music. We've got these lights that are kind of hard to describe, but they just add an ambiance that's real unique. And I don't know of any place else like it in town, or really, you know, anywhere in the state, because it's where else do you go and enjoy good food outdoors with music, let your kids run around in the front yard, and just have a really relaxed evening. There aren't very many restaurants where you feel free to come and stay for 3 hours and hang out, and that's just fine with us. All the vegetable ingredients come from our farm, including the tomato sauce, at least when it's tomato season, and we do put some aside as well, so we can go into the beginning of the season with stuff left over from the last summer. Our Monday morning meeting starts with, what do we have a lot of on the farm this week? What are we going to be able to put on pizza? And so like last week it was kale. We got tons of kale, so we said, well, that's an obvious one. Arugula was another one that went on there. We had some bratwurst from pigs we had butchered this spring. We try and source as much as we can locally, and I think that's an important part of the ethos of this place. I think there's just something in our beings that loves making food for others and loves working together in a community group. You know, if it was just a couple of us doing this, it would be a lot harder. But having a group of 10 or 15 people who are all working toward this common goal, it makes it much more rewarding, I think. There's some really neat farm-to-table offerings around the Ozarks these days, but most of them are, like you kind of said, sort of pop-up dinners or one-time events. And you know, ours is a weekly thing. We also have the difference of this is pizza, which is, nobody's intimidated by pizza. You know, you talk to somebody about having a beet shaving on top of a chev nub and whatever, you know, you see these menus at farm-to-table dinners a lot of times, and it's pretty high-end, and I love that, but it's pretty intimidating to the guy who just wants to come out and sip a beer and enjoy pizza. And this is that place where those people, you know, that are just after beer and pizza, and the people who do think that the shaved beet might be kind of exciting and interesting, they can find a common space here. People really want to understand where their food's coming from on a personal level. They want to see where it grows, or they want to talk to the farmer who grew it, or they want to talk to the chef who prepared it. And so in that case, we're offering something I think is real valuable to people.